Good afternoon, students. This is your Hardcore 2 practical class, and in this class, let us study about selfing and hybridization techniques in bajra, maize, and sorghum, and also floral biology of bajra and maize. So first, let us study or discuss about selfing and hybridization techniques in a bajra, maize, and a sorghum. So breeding genetically identical organisms or closely related mating organism is called as a inbreeding. So here in case of inbreeding, breeding is going to take place with the genetically identical organisms or a closely related organisms, and it results in a inbreeds or a pure lines. So selfing in a bisexual flower involves bagging the inflorescence prior to the emergence of a styles. So if we are going to make a selfing, then we have to take a step of a bagging before the emergence of a style. And a polythene bags with the small pores are a paper bags are used for a bagging, and a date of a selfing and the details of a parents written on the bag is attached to the bag. So after the placing the polythene bags, so what we have to do is we have to write the description, or we have to write the date of the selfing or the details of a plants regarding and these are attached to the bags in the form of a tag. So hybridization, it is also called as a crossing or outbreeding. So it includes some of the steps. The first one is a selection. So it is to obtain the parents of a desired characters. So here the well-known or a good parents are going to select. So second one is a selfing. It is done in order to obtain a pure line or inbreed selfing, and it leads to albinous lethal resistance or disease susceptibility, of which desired characters of parents are incorporated into the hybrid. That is, total selfing establishes homozygosity ultimately. So by this, in the selfing, we are going to obtain the pure lines or a inbreeds selfing. And third one is the emasculation. So this method includes removal of the stamens from the female parent before the pollen grains are going to mature. So it can be done by the following methods. So first one is a mechanical removal of a stamens. So this is practiced in a large flowers like a wheat, rice, and also sorghum. So during this process, spikelet is held in between the two fingers. So in the diagram, you are going to observe the spikelets are held in between the two fingers of a left hand, and with the help of the forceps, the glumes and other accessory holes of the flowers are opened carefully. So when the flower is closed condition, by using the forceps, we are going to open the flower, and here we have to take a very careful measures, and here we are not we should not damage the gynoecium part, so that careful is very necessary. So the exposed anther are plucked and the glumes are closed carefully to ensure the protection to the gynecium. So after the removal of the anthers, then we have to close the glooms very carefully without damaging the gynecium part. So this is the diagram which is going to show the mechanical removal of the stamens by using the forceps. So holding the flowers in the left hand. So then we have to open the accessory whorls of the flowers. This is the lemma. Flower is going to open with the forceps, and then with the forceps we are going to remove the stamens, and when the stamens are removed, then we have to close the glooms carefully without damaging the gynecium. So second one is the emasculation by hot water treatment. So it consists of a dipping of a inflorescence in a hot water at a 45 to 53 degrees Celsius for a 10 minutes according to the variety of a sorghum. For a sorghum, that is 47 degrees Celsius is suitable. For this purpose of thermal bag is taken. For in case of a sorghum, we are going to take a thermal bag for the temperature of a 47 degree Celsius of hot water. So the hot water of required temperature is taken in the bag, and a stalk of a earhead and the thermometer is introduced into the bag and plugged with the split rubber cork, and the earhead is treated for a desired period and then taken out. So this is the emasculation by hot water treatment. So in the diagram you are going to see this is a plant, and in the bottle the hot water is taken, and here we are going to insert the thermometer to know the temperature, and the cork is placed after inserting the panicle into the hot water bottle. So after a certain desired time, the panicle is removed. So there is another one method called as a cold water treatment. So it is practiced in a wheat sometimes. So here the ethanol is used in case of a cold water treatment, and a pollination without the emasculation is practiced in a self-compatible stains. So next is by using male sterile varieties. So it may be cytoplasmic sterile or a nuclear sterile or both cytonuclear sterile. For example is a bajra. So here the first process is a bagging. Here emasculated female parent is bagged. So the bagging condition it is made because the emasculated female parents should not come in contact with the pollens of the other plants. And next is a crossing. So the pollen collected by bagging and transferred to emasculated receptive female parents. So after the crossing, the labeling is done, and it includes the labeling is consisting of field records and date of emasculation, the date of crossing, and also details of both parents. So this is as written as a labeling, and after the labeling the label part is tagged to the polythene bag. So this is about the selfing and hybridization techniques in case of a bajra, maize and sorghum. So next is a floral biology of bajra. So first let us know about the classification. So bajra, it belongs to kingdom Plantae, division Magnoliophyta, class Liliopsida, order Poales, family Poaceae, genus Pennisetum, and a species Americanum, and the name is Pennisetum americanum, and author is Leake, and it belongs to the family Poaceae. So bajra belongs to family Poaceae, and the vernacular names are, in English it is called as a pearl millet, and in Hindi it is called as a bajra, in Sanskrit agradhanya, and in Kannada it is called as a sajje. And here the part used are seeds or grains, and the propagation is by seeds, and the origin of bajra is tropical Africa and India. Next is a plant description. So the pearl millet plant is a tall, erect, annual grass that ranges from 6 to 14 feet in height and is a highly tolerant. And the root system is like that of most grasses. It is a fibrous root system. The roots which go downwards are generally thicker than those which spread laterally. On the whole, plant is a shallow rooted and may be considered as a surface feeder. The systems of a bajra stand erect and are usually 3 to 8 feet in height, and the tillers are not common, but they may sometimes arise depending upon the variety as well as on the spacing. The plants sometimes produce auxiliary branches, but these are not as vigorous as the tillers and may only develop on 2 or 3 inches. The leaves of a bajra, like those of all grasses, they consist of a blade and a sheath. The blade is lanceolate and a long pointed and possess numerous hairs on both surface. So when we touch the leaf blade, we are going to observe the hairs. The sheath, which is a little thicker than the lamina, clasps the stem. The ligule, which is a structure at the junction of a blade and the sheath, and occasionally known as a rain god, and is about 4 to 5 mm in length. And the inflorescence of bajra is a compound spike with an unbranched tapering axis, and the length of an inflorescence is usually 6 to 14 inches. So the inflorescence is a very long. The branches on which the flowers are borne, known as a rachilla, bear 2 to 5 spikelets each, but 2 is the most common number. And the inflorescence bear 2 types of flowers, that is hermaphrodite and staminate. The former are the first to appear soon after the emergence of inflorescence, the styles being to produce out of the glumes. Cross-pollination takes place in this crop, and the seed is a small grain about 3 to 4 millimeter long and 3 to 10 milligram in weight. And the color of a seed varies from pale yellow to dull light blue. So this is regarding the floral biology of bajra. So next is floral biology of maize. So classification, it belongs to kingdom Plantae, division Magnoliophyta, class Liliopsida, order Poales, family Poaceae, genus Zea, and the species maize, and the botanical name Zea maize, author citation Linnaeus, and the vernacular names in English it is called as a maize or a corn, and in Hindi it is called makka or makai, and in Sanskrit it is called dhanya, and in Kannada mekkejola or musukina jola, and the parts used are seeds, grains, or entire plant. It is used as a fodder, and the origin is Mexico, Central and West America. So next is a plant description. So maize is a tall, determinate, annual and a C4 plant cultivated during the rainy season, and it varying in height from 1 to 4 meters. The roots are adventitious in nature and developing from the lower nodes. Normally, the maize plants have three types of roots: the seminal roots, which develop from radicle and persist for a long period, and the second one is adventitious roots. These are the fibrous roots developing from the lower nodes of a stem below ground level, which are the effective and active roots of a plant. And the third one is a brace or a prop roots. It is produced by lower two nodes. Next is the stem. It is a solid and provided with distinct nodes and internodes, and the stem generally attains a thickness of 3 to 4 centimeter. The internodes are short and fairly thick at the base of the plant and become longer and thicker higher up the stem and then tapers again. The ear-bearing internode is longitudinally grooved to allow proper positioning of a ear head, that is a cob. The upper leaves in the core are more responsible for a light interception and a major contributors of a photosynthesis to grain. Next is the leaves. The leaves are long, broad and flat with a distinct sheathing base. So we are going to observe the sheathing leaf base. Enclosing the stem leaves are and these are simple, alternate, and a ligule is present at the base of the leaf blade. The flower is it is a monoecious plant. So the apex of a stem ends in the tassel, and inflorescence of male flower and a female inflorescence are born at the apex of a condensed. Lateral branches known as a shanks protruding from the leaf axis, and the male inflorescence, a loose panicle, produces pairs of free spikelets, each enclosed by a fertile and sterile florets, and small flowers enclosed by green leaf-like bracts. And a female inflorescence, a spike produces pairs of spikelets on the surface of highly condensed rachis. Here the inflorescence is of two kinds: male spikelets in a terminal panicle, while the female spike in the axillary spadices borne lower down, each enclosed by a number of spathes. Male spikelet occur in pairs, one sessile and the other stalked, and each spikelet is two-flowered. And androecium, here the stamens are 3 and the anthers linear and pendulous. Female spikelets are densely crowded in several vertical rows on a fleshy rachis and are sessile. And each spikelet with a lower barren floret and an upper fertile one. And here the lodicules are absent or very feebly developed. So gynoecium consists of carpel, one ovary obliquely ovoid or plano-convex, and the style is single, very long and bifid at the tip, and the styles and the stigmas papillose and hang out in the tuft from the top of the spadix, and the fruit is caryopsis. So this is regarding the floral biology of maize. So by this, in this class we came to know about selfing and hybridization techniques in bajra, maize and sorghum, and also floral biology of bajra and maize.